Welcome to Attack Motorsports, Attack the Track. This video will show you how to beat the WTC 600 Tokyo East track in hard mode using a factory NSX, some tire changes, an aero package, and ballast. So again, we're showing that this is done in hard mode. Aero package type B for the front, type B for the side, and an adjustable rear wing to create some downforce. Let's move on to the track. So again, a reminder, you will have to purchase Sport Soft and Sports Medium tires. Again, that is Sport Soft and Sports Medium tires, as well as ballast. So here's the event, the World Touring Car 600, maximum credit 550,000. Unless you beat it cleanly, then you can get 825,000 credits. So here's our car setting. We are going to start on Sport Soft, but we are also going to use Sport Medium halfway through the race. And then if you notice here, everything is normal except tires and the downforce, which is set minimum to 60 in the front, 168 at the rear. Ballast has been added at 81, and I set the ballast all the way to the front of the car. Again, everything else is normal. No changes, no additions, no weight reduction. All right, let's get this started. All right, we're now at the beginning of the race, and we're going to try to slipstream off of these cars and stay to the right as much as possible. I find that staying to the right keeps them more bunched to the right, and I don't know why. It seems to make it easier to pass. I've been able to pass on the right sometimes, but I just get close enough and then swing over to the left. And most of the time there seems to be a lot more room here. I'm going to brake a little bit before the 200 meter mark. And then tuck in, slowly release the brakes and get ourselves a few positions right there. Now this is a fuel saving event, so we're going to start shifting early, and particularly in this left-hander up here, we're going to bump the gears all the way up to 7th gear and just hold it. And this will allow us to save fuel. We won't have to refuel quite as much. Oh, nuts. I guess talking and driving doesn't work that well. Anyway, let's see if we can still salvage this race and get the clean race bonus at the end. So again, we're fuel saving and not concerned about passing people at the moment. That will come in time. Alright, we're going to brake up here just a little bit before the 50 mark and tuck it in. Ooh, that was a little closer than I would like. And then from this moment on, now we're going to open it wide up. So we're going to hit the red line for a shift point here. As we're coming up to this group of cars, if there's a lot of cars there, I'll brake at the 200 mark. If not, I'll brake a little bit before the 150, as I have a tendency to bunch up like this. And if you tuck it in far enough, you get to pass one, like we just did. Couldn't get both of them, but that's okay. Just stay in the slipstream here. And we're going to keep winding the car up to the red line until we come out of the tunnel and hit the flat. Right. Okay, so we're going to come out of the tunnel here soon. Coming to our flat, and we're going to go to 8th gear. You can shift into 9th gear at some point in this, again for fuel saving, but it just depends upon where you are, where you end up. Again, we're going to brake a little bit before the 200. Tuck it in. And that's okay. Don't be concerned about them passing. There'll be plenty of opportunity later. We just want to stay with whatever group we come upon. So I'm still going to short shift. I'm not going to panic. Get into gear 7. And just do throttle control through here just to make sure that you're staying on the inside of the apex. Oh man, that was not good. Well, turned out better than I thought. And alright, so we're back on track, as they say. Alright, so, whoa, gosh, so much for talking and driving, yikes. As I've stated before in our similar video on the same track before the update, I wanted to provide a race in hard mode that can be beaten, that's at least got somewhat of a challenge to it. And you know, there's enough builds that are out there that will allow you to just slaughter the game and, you know, get ahead of everybody in the first 2 laps and then spend the next 12 laps. Oh, a little wide on the turn. It's okay. Anyway, you beat them for the first 2 laps, or by the first 2 laps, and you spend the next 10 laps plus just driving by yourself. And again, it's a great way to make points. There's no concern about that. I still do that myself if I want to make some easy points. But I found liking this race because of the challenge. And it plays out a little bit different every time. Again, we're winding this out right here. Shift into 8th, right on the top of the hill. But depending upon where you are in the game, it seems like the AI act a lot differently, and they tend to pull away from you, or they tend to not pull away from you. So I found that a little more of a challenge. Brake, brake, brake. There we go. So we're 7.5 seconds away from the race leader. I'm now watching my fuel. I've got 4.5 laps of fuel, and I have 5 laps to go. Well, actually, no, I got less. We're going to pit a little bit earlier. But again, it's okay to fuel save because you can get in and out of the pits quicker, which is a plus. So we're going to try to get ourselves to have an extra lap of fuel by the time that we pit. Right, here we go. Okay. Brake a little bit before the 50 mark. And obviously there are much better drivers and racers than I am, so I do not make any claims to be even average. But here we go. Alright, so we're going to wind this up to the red line and try to get as close to the next group as we can. Brake a little bit before the 150 and try to tuck it in. Go ahead and go over the curb if you can. And the reason I do this is that, one, it's easy to get inside the AI there because I have a tendency to take that turn a little bit wider than what I recommend. Two, no matter where you are in the race, you're taking it faster than the AI take it. So either way, you're either gaining or pulling away from them. And again, we're just going to keep shifting on the red line here. Bringing into 8th. Brake a little bit before the 200 mark and tuck it in. So again, we'll short shift a little bit just to keep the fuel conservation up. Get it back into 7th gear. Stay tucked in on these turns. Lift on the throttle a little bit just to make sure you stay tucked in. Brake, 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 brake. And these section of S's are very easy to catch the NPC drivers, which is good for us because that gives us the opportunity to either get close to them here so that by the time we enter the straight we have a little bit of slipstream. Not necessarily the best place to pass, but it can open itself up. So if you can do a clean pass, do it. I mean, we're trying to get the clean race bonus at the end, but don't concern yourself about passing everybody in every little section if you're unsure if you can do it cleanly, because other opportunities will present itself. So again, we're going to open it up right here, right before the 150. Tuck it in, tuck it in. Not quite going to get him, but we're getting close, so that's good. Careful right here, this is an easy spot to spin out, so roll onto the throttle rather than bashing it. I do not have traction control on, and you might want to. I haven't tried it without traction control. It might slow the car down a little bit, but it may help you. So use your best judgment there. Again, we're a little over, a good amount over 2 laps of fuel, and we've got 2 laps before us as we're going to pit after the 6th lap. Catching this car a little bit, was not expecting that. This car usually pulls away from me. The Nissan GTR. But we'll take it. We'll take the position change. Hoorah. Alright. Let's wind that up a little just to see if we can give ourselves a better gap. We'll start short shifting again. Just keep the fuel conservation up. Keep it on the inside. Brake, 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 brake. Slowly release the brakes as the car has a little bit of oversteer, but that can help you out. And again, short shifting. This section here, I'll often just stay in 5th gear through the whole thing. Starts out a little low, but it seems to keep a good pace with the other cars. There we go. And again, from here, we're going to open it wide up. Brake, 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 brake. A little wide. Remember, roll on the throttle here so you don't punch it. I aim for that street pole right there often, just to give myself a point of reference, and then straighten the car out with the track after I get close to the wall. Almost halfway through. Still have 2 laps of fuel. And we got just under 2 laps of fuel and 2 laps left, so we're in good shape. Or 1 lap left, sorry. We're in good shape here. We're going to pit after the 6th. So we are now in the lead of the race, which is going to change after we pit the car. So still going to keep the fuel saving tactics going through here. Whoops. There we go. Whew, all right. Glad we made it through that turn. Just keep it in 5th gear. Brake a little bit before the 50. Ooh, that was close. Maybe I should have braked a little sooner. Thanks. Anyway, we should still be good. Those aren't any hard knocks. that would keep us from getting the bonus. And this track is brutal. Brake, 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 brake. Get it tucked in. And sometimes I'll stay to the right of the dry line there. I just have a better angle to come out onto this section of the track. Alright, 6th lap. I've got 1 lap of fuel. And we're going to go ahead and drop this in. Now we're going to change to the medium tires. And we are going to put in roughly 6.6 laps of fuel. That might be a little excessive, but less need for short shifting throughout the track, and might give us a little bit of an extra edge to catch up to the race leaders. So it seems like forever. Oops, 6.7. I guess I stayed there a little too long. And we are in P9 at this point. And again, this is not a reason to panic, as there will be other cars that will need to pit, and we just need to get out here as soon as possible. Part of the reason I take on a little bit extra fuel is it burns a lot of fuel coming from the pit stop out into this area. We probably burned a good 0.2 of a lap just in that small section right there. Alright, we're going to cut it in. We are still several seconds behind the next position. I'm going to wind it up just a little bit more through here, and then just drop it into 7th. Reason being is that we can accelerate faster through here, but if you feel your if you feel the car pulling, whoa, you know you can only go through that so fast, and so why not fuel save if you can do it? Just leave you more for the later portion of the race where you might need it, when you're getting just that much closer to the race leader and trying to prepare a way to pass them. So in this event, because it can play out a little bit different every time, depending upon who you pass at what turn, at least it appears to be that way, your race leader, you might have him pit before the last 2 laps, you might have to race him all the way to the end. I've played it both ways. It is still beatable either way, and but part of the big deal, tuck it in, there we go, is to drive this cleanly. And I have obviously not driven this perfectly cleanly, but I don't think that any of my taps against the walls have ruined my ability to get the clean race bonus at the end. Have a couple people pitting already, and we're just still winding this thing out. We have plenty of fuel. Once we cross the line here, we have 5 laps left. I have almost 5.5 laps of fuel, and we're already in 3rd, and we're only a few seconds, maybe 4 seconds behind the next position, and we're gonna just let her rip. Brake, 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 brake. Whoops. Alright, I'm going to slow this way down. That was too wide, went into it too fast. Hopefully that didn't cost me. I'm still... see, I've lost a little bit of time against the race leader right there. So I'm just keeping it in 6th now. I'm going to see if I can make up a little bit of time. There we go. Brake, 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 brake. Put that nose in there. A little bit of slip angle. Keep going. Just winding this up now. Again, because I have fuel to spare. See how we do here. Ooh. Thought I was going to glance the wall on the right. Apparently made it. Again, we're winding this out. Brake, 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 brake. Just before that 150 mark. Tuck it in. Don't floor it. Just roll on the accelerator until you get going. The car in front of me is good at turns, good at accelerating up to a point, but should do a pretty good job of catching it on the top end here. Let's see how we do. Alright, so 4 laps left. 4.4 laps of fuel, still doing great there. Winding this out. We are catching P2, as you can see. I don't know that I'll be able to catch him before the next turn. Brake, 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 brake. Hey, made it cleanly. Made him jump, but that's alright. It still counts. Get back in there. There we go. Alright, so now we'll continue on here. I'm going to wind this out a little bit just to get away from him. And again, we have plenty of fuel. Whoops. Have it to be in 7th gear. I'll just leave it there. So we are several seconds behind the race leader now, which isn't a bad place to be. Come on, little car. Yeah, we got plenty of fuel. So you notice I'm downshifting where I wasn't necessarily doing it on other laps because I can accelerate quickly, so that works out well. Yep, wind it up, wind it up, wind it up. You can see we've already come down a second or two from the race leader. So we are catching him. Wind it out. So the race leader, if I remember right, is in the same car that I'm in. And it seems to pull away, but I think it might be racing on... Wow, they pit. Okay. Well, that makes that even easier. They don't always seem to pit that early, but hey, this makes the whole rest of the race easy to talk about. So we're just going to speed through this and finish out on the race cleanly. Hopefully. Hopefully we get the clean race bonus here at the end. Alright, a little fast forward. Get through this last lap. Alright, here we are. Finishing the race in first. That is how to beat WTC 600 Tokyo East Track in hard mode. Alright, let's see what kind of points we ended up with here. Again, hopefully we made it. Yes, we did. 825,000 credits. Clean enough, even with that little bit of glancing the track. We're going to show that this is still on hard mode. Nothing changed. There it is. And because we have to exit the track to show the stats, I'll just go ahead and do that. And then we're going to load the track right back up and just re-show the stats. Again, sports soft, sports medium is what we used. First half soft, second half medium. And then everything is normal except the downforce, which is minimal. and the ballast. So there's your downforce. There's the ballast added, all moved all the way to the front, and no additional parts or gear to this car. So happy racing, and remember, attack the track, not each other.